giving me this time
Thank you.
to speak.
Shri Suresh Prabhu.
Thank you, sir. Sir, since I am the only speaker from the party, I think I should get double the time that Mr. Vasudeva
Anyway,
got.
you know the constraint of time and you behave accordingly.
Huh? So he was the only one. He was not the only one. I am the only one. Sir,
your time is allotted time. I am not asking you.
Yes.
Your
Sir,
allotted time, I am just informing, is 6 minutes.
Yes. Sir, let me start by quoting what my illustrious colleague, Mr. Jaswant Singh, always says when he talks about energy, that energy is security and tampering with it is tampering with national security. I think, though he has said it more than once in this very august house, probably the importance of it has really not dawned on us, as it seems, from the meager provisions that we're making and the way in which we are treating power sector in our planning process. Sir, the power requirement, the deficiency of power, as is anticipated now by the Planning Commission, as has been said by many people, I don't really intend to repeat it, as I'm afraid of the bell that is going to be rung by you. So it is 57,000 megawatt deficit we are contemplating in the next 5-year plan. The amount of money that is required, as is contemplated by Rakesh Mohan report on infrastructure, is more than 5 lakh crores, or maybe 5,40,000 crores is the amount that is going to be required for investment necessary in the power sector. And we are really not even talking about how we are going to find this money, from where it is going to come. We are not even making any mention about anything, any action plan to achieve this. And the 9th 5-year plan approach paper is also silent about it. So it is one of the gravest danger that is looming large on India's horizon, and we are not even making any attempt to even probably try to find out how we are going to solve it. So there is no point making any tall claims. There is no point talking about ideology. It is plain solution to this very problem that needs to be found out. Sir, how are you going to find this money? We can tell the government that you have to provide more in the budget, but government has no money left now. And we have come at a stage, unfortunately, wherein 48% of the government's income, current income, is being spent on interest. So I don't think, even if we press this government or any other government, we are going to find this money which is necessary to go into this very important infrastructure sector, that is power. Sir, probably we should have started this exercise much in advance, when money should have been spent on infrastructure, and the government should have asked probably some other sectors to come in to develop on the infrastructure that's already created. Then probably would not have faced this situation. But having faced it, how are we going to find solution to this without bringing any ideology into it, without really coming and bothering about appointing more committees? It is something which governments immediately needs to take Parliament into confidence and give us an action plan for that. Sir, failing which, the Asian Development Bank has warned us, the World Bank has warned us, the experts within our country, who are no less than any of these multilateral agencies, have also warned us, and I am sure there is enough talent available within the ministry itself to let us know about how much problems we are going to face in very, very short period of time, maybe from next year or the year following that. Delhi is in darkness, major cities of our country are in darkness, and we don't have enough power to come and being generated. So last 5 years, how much new power have we generated? We take claim, we take credit for introducing a new economic policy, globalization. These cliches which we are using without realizing how much have we really created new power generated during the last 5 years period, when we say that we have attained a growth rate of 6% and now we are targeting a growth rate of 9%. Our new Prime Minister visited the CIS summit. The first assignment that he had as a Prime Minister of the country, and he agreed. The CIS summit, the theme was how to attain 9% GDP growth. He said it is possible. And our outgoing Prime Minister also said, this is also possible. So when it is possible, the 9% growth rate of GDP, you feel it is possible, and this is what we are telling the outside world. How much new power we are going to generate during this period? We are talking about new 9% next year. Is it really possible? Are we fooling ourselves? We are fooling the world? Or what are we doing? Is something we really need to answer, rather than coming out with glossy document. saying that we are going to make this, we are going to happen this. So this is something which really we need to have. Sir, let us not go very far. Our immediate neighbor, Pakistan, has a surplus power now. And that is what is said by our own government. Our government is talking and going and buying power from Pakistan as to improve the bilateral relationship. We say that Pakistan is going to triple the surplus that is available with them in next 2 or 3 years. If it is true, then what Pakistan could attain, why we could not attain in last 5 years of this liberalization. And now our illustrious minister, I am sure, would really like to take the entire country into confidence rather than telling us, yes, this is going to happen, from somewhere it is going to happen. This 5,40,000 crores, I don't think are going to fall from anywhere, and we really need to take all of us into confidence and tell the country in true sense how it is going to make, and for that we'll have to really keep our ideology aside. Sir, it only brings us to 2 possibilities. One, private sector investment has to come in, and foreign investment also has to flow into power sector if the government is left with no money. Have you really thinking about coming out with a clear-cut policy for any foreign or outside investment other than the government to flow into power sector? Is there any consistency in your policies? We talked about fast-track projects, and now suddenly we are slowed down. Then there is a need to have more power. We are not talking about fast-track project, but we are saying that now fast-track projects are off track, and now we are going to consider each and every project on its merit. Our outgoing Prime Minister said that new power projects need not come to center. The CEA has a very limited role to play, and the states will be able to sanction the power sector projects on their own. What happened to that policy statement? Are we just making a statement for whiling away our time, or we are serious about what we talk about it? And that's why I suggest and strongly demand that the government must come out with immediate policy framework which will have a sanctity of parliament sanction also if necessary. You take all parties into confidence, but don't take power security, power situation as something of a playing with politics or telling one constituency we are going to sanction one state or another state. But this is something which we really need to do immediately, and I really strongly urge you to do it in maybe in the shortest possible time. Sir, we had our minister talking on the 17th of January 1997 while addressing some foreign investors who have come here, probably that was some Germans also coming, and he said that he is sanctioning a new power policy, is going to announce a new power policy in the shortest possible time. Since then, 4 months have passed. I can understand that Mr. Kesri didn't want him to announce it very soon, so he allowed him 1 more month of time. But what has happened? Are you really thinking, or you announce it only for the benefit for them, because the foreigners have come, they should feel better, you announce it and the matter just ends there. It is something we should not take it so kindly, so lightly. Sir, the Indian Electricity Act of 1910 needs an amendment. We have heard it so many times. We have also heard that Electricity Supply Act needs to be amended. But all these amendments, all these acts, regulatory framework has to be changed. You come out with a comprehensive legislation, comprehensive policy in which one document can help investor, whether it's Indian or foreign, but that investment has to come. There has to be a sanctioning which has to be properly streamlined. The states, the role of the states, the role of the CEA has to be properly spelled out. And then alone, I think if at all some investment which is likely to come might come into it. Sir, I am following Mr. Devda Acharya, sir.
Please don't follow.
Yes, sir. Because I am his real true follower.
Please follow yourself.
Yes, sir. I am his true follower, sir.
That will be,
Sir.
In the fitness of the things, don't follow anybody, follow yourself.
Yes, sir. But I think he is a very illustrious follower. I should follow him. Sir, I am, okay, sir. So let us talk about non-conventional energy. So the whole world realized the problem of looming problem when the prices of crude petroleum prices were high. Immediately everybody shifted to finding out non-conventional renewable energy. As far as we are concerned, in 1974, in 1981, we came out Sir, we formed a new ministry. First we formed a department commission, subsequently formed a ministry and a department, and now we say that we have got an independent ministry. What is the net result of all this? How much power have we really created in this last so many years? In 1995-96, 800 megawatt, that is only 1% of the total power installed capacity in the country is coming from this non-conventional source of energy. We have been told that what is the potential? The annual report of the ministry talks about the potential, the reach potential that is available in this non-conventional energy. If we really look at it, we feel that India should never be a power deficient country. In fact, the only product that India can export is power. That is the potential you are talking about. If you really feel that that is what is our potential, and if you are not realizing it, who is really responsible for it? Do we really believe in these figures, or we really make these figures available to the parliament? You have placed all these facts and figures before the parliament through your annual report, and this is what you claim to be a potential. Then what is holding you back from realizing this potential is something which you really need to tell us. We are talking about 5,000 trillion kilowatt power solar energy that can come into India every year. This is much more than what we really need. If this is what you really believe in, if you really believe in it, what are the constraints, what are the bottlenecks in realizing this potential that is available to us in the country, which we really need to tell us? If this is something, only the investment, why investment is not flowing in? If it is commercially so profitable, that why it is not coming in also we need to know. And sir, there is one point which all of us as a consumer, as a representative of people, I have also right to know from the government, is we are now moving towards, whether we like it or not, by just force of sheer circumstances, we are moving towards commercialization of our infrastructure. We had also appointed a committee which has submitted a report, and we were told some time back that we are also considering that report actively, and probably maybe you will even accept some of the recommendations. Sir, if that is what it is going to be, what is the price that the ultimate consumer will have to pay for the new power that is going to be generated is something which you must tell us, and this is also your investor would also like to know from you. After end of it, when you have made the investment, when the power generation will start, you cannot turn around and say that now our social objectives makes us feel that you must provide power at a lower rate, and then probably the consumers will not get power, or if they get power, it will get at such a high rate. So this is also something which you really must tell people, and you must take them into confidence, and we have a right to certainly know from you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, sir.